Hi, my name's Maria. Welcome back to my channel, Maria Might Read That. It's been a while. I haven't actually sat down to film a video in 2 or 3 months at least, and I wish I could say that that won't happen again, but unfortunately my mental health isn't always the most reliable, so all I can say is I'm going to do my best to kind of be around and be putting out content when I can. I am still so excited about this channel, so it does suck when life kind of throws curveballs your way and something that, you're so passionate about, you just don't have the mental energy or capacity to do, but it is what it is. I am okay for anyone kind of wondering. I just have a lot of life stuff that kind of came up and just a lot of change, and so I just needed to take a step back. I really appreciate those of you that have stuck around and are watching this video, and just that your support means so much, just your understanding, so I really appreciate that. A big thank you as well to those of you who kind of reached out and checked on me during that little bit of a kind of hiatus. It means a lot, just the love and friendship and support that I found through this community, and I'm excited to be back. But with that kind of mini ramble out of the way, I am also here to talk about the Once Upon a Readathon, which is something that I wanted to post a TBR and kind of video about earlier. It's an amazing readathon that is running the entire month of November and was created by Hannah Blackwell. It's a fairy tale inspired readathon, and there's an entire fairy tale that Hannah has created. It's amazing the work she's put in. I'm really honored that Hannah asked me to be a part of this. I am one of 16 hosts for this readathon, and I am one of the co-hosts for the Fairy Godmothers team. I did mean to get this TBR, or what I'm reading for Once Upon a Readathon kind of video, up before the month of November. Again, unfortunately, mental health just got in my way and did not let me do that. But even though that didn't happen, I still wanted to get this up and just kind of talk about the amazing readathon and about what I'm reading for it. And the good news is that it's actually not too late to sign up. You can sign up even on the very last day of November and still be part of this readathon. And it's not even close to the end of November, so there's still plenty of time if you haven't signed up. If you have, I'd love to hear down below which team you're on and how your reading so far this month is going. I will link Hannah's amazing announcement video down below in the description box, because she covers all of the rules and prompts in such great kind of explanation and detail in a way that I'm not going to attempt, because she just did a great job. Like I said, there's a fairy tale that this is all themed around, and the basic idea of this readathon is that we're going on a journey to try and find this magical apple that will grant us eternal youth. And so in order to do that, you have to complete 5 different steps of the readathon. General gist is that each step has different prompts. You can complete 1 prompt or as many as you like, and then move on to the next step. There is no requirement to complete more than 1 prompt, but you do have to do the steps in order. So again, I will link Hannah's announcement video down below. She goes into great detail with this. I also will link the Discord for the readathon down below if you haven't joined that and want to participate in the discussions in there. It's a really great community as well. And then I will also link the sign-up form and the Google Drive, so that all of that information is in there in the description for you. I hope everyone's having a really great reading month so far. It's only been a week at the time of filming this, and I've already read way more than I expected to, so this has A, been really good for getting me out of my slump, and B, just has been so much fun to participate. There's lots of sprints going on. Even if you're not participating in the readathon, you can always just join the sprints and kind of keep us company, so lots of fun to look forward to this month. Before I get into what I'm reading for the different steps of the Once Upon a Readathon, I do also want to quickly mention that I am loosely participating in Covers with Cassidy's Knock It Out November, which is a kind of goal-based readathon where you assign your own goals and try to kind of knock out some goals by the end of the month. My participation in this is pretty much that I'm trying to, by the end of the year, knock out some series that I'm in the middle of. I've got a lot going on, so I'm trying to close out or continue some series, and then I'm also trying to bring down my physical TBR a little bit. That was a goal at the beginning of the year, and it did not happen, so now I'm just trying to rein it back in a little bit. So those are kind of my loose goals that I'm setting, and you can kind of see those reflected in the different books I chose. So the first step is to research the history of the apple tree, and for that one I'm going with 2 books to fit several different prompts within this. The first book is A Prayer for the Crown Shy. This is the second book in the Monk and Robot novella series by Becky Chambers, and the sequel to A Psalm for the Wild-Built, which I gave 5 stars and read, I believe, at the beginning of this year. Wow, it's been a while. So I wanted to pick up the sequel and kind of be up to date on this series. And this satisfies the Once Upon a Time prompt. For step 1, I'm also going to be reading Spinning Silver, which satisfies the royalty and the retelling prompts, and this is a winter-inspired fairy tale retelling by Naomi Novik that I am reading for the Femmes Afictionados book club, which I am part of with Hannah and Kayla from Kay's Hidden Shelf, and we are reading Spinning Silver as our October-November book pick, and then having the live show at the very beginning of December. It will be on Kayla's channel, so keep an eye out for that. I know a lot of people are reading Spinning Silver for this readathon, so hopefully a lot of people will be joining us and chatting about this book with us. I'm excited to see how it compares to Uprooted, which I've read by Naomi Novik, because I've heard they're very different. So this is what I'm doing for step 1. For step 2, which is Find the Map to Apple Tree, I'm reading Fury Song, which is the 3rd book of the Aurelian cycle by Rosaria Munda. The first book is Fireborn, and this is the conclusion to that entire trilogy, which is one of my absolute favorite all-time trilogies. And honestly, it's a crime that I have still not read this book. What was it that Past Me said about this again? Oh yeah, I am definitely, guaranteed there will be absolutely nothing that will get in my way. Even if I read nothing else in August, I am reading this book. Yeah, that didn't happen. I didn't pick up any books in August, including this one. I didn't pick this up in September. I didn't pick this up in October. I am getting to it in November, but honestly, for the fact that this is one of my all-time favorite series, I have no excuses for leaving it this long. This fulfills the recently acquired prompt and also the red, orange, yellow, or brown on the cover prompt, and fits hard mode as well, because we've got brown, we've got a bit of orange, and a bit of yellow in there. So hard mode because it's 2 of the colors at least. Annoyingly, this does not have a map, which I thought was a given with pretty much every fantasy series, so I didn't even check until later, and it does not have a map, so I'm not getting that prompt, but you do what you can. For step 3, which is Gathered Companions to Help Along the Way, I am reading A Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexandra Rowland. This is a male-male fantasy romance that has been comped to The Goblin Emperor, which I read earlier this year and loved, and is a very kind of political, slow burn relationship built on like friendship, trust, and communication. This one hits all the prompts of the step, which I'm kind of proud of. So this gives me the book with romance prompt, the featuring family prompt, and the new to me author prompt. It doesn't give me hard mode, but I got all the rest. So I am now on step 4, which is to quest for the apple tree. And for this one, this is where things get a bit more MBR styled. I might go with Godbreaker, which is the 3rd book in the God King Chronicles. The first book is The Black Coast. This is by Mike Brooks. And this one would check off the over 300 pages prompt, as well as the hard mode version, which is over 450 pages. And I think it also, in my opinion, counts for historical setting, so it checks out that prompt as well. It does not, however, check off Book with Magic. It has fantasy setting and dragons, but I feel like it doesn't have really like a magic system, so if I don't go for this one, I might go for Oleander Sword by Tasha Suri instead, which is the sequel to The Jasmine Throne, and also one that, again, I want to kind of continue or get up to date on some of my series, so I can either finish one off or continue and get up to date. Feel like pretty good about both. This is also, a lot of these are physical TBR books that I own, so that would also get off my physical TBR. This one would fulfill the Book with Magic prompt, absolutely, the historical setting prompt, and both the over 300 pages and the hard mode. So I should go with this one, logically point speaking, but I feel like emotional mood rating wise, I'm going to go with Godbreaker. And then step 5 is Climb the Apple Tree to Acquire a Fruit. And for this one, I am going to go with The Jade Setter of Jan Loon, which is a novella, prequel novella set in the Greenbone Saga world, which is one of my all-time favorite series. I have not stopped gushing about it since I finished. It honestly is one of the series that has stuck with me the most. Like, it's honestly climbing its way in the rankings of my favorites just by how much, like how excited I still am to talk about it. I love that series so much, and I really want to get back to this world, so I'm excited for this. I've almost been kind of putting it off because I don't want it to be over, so you know, mixed emotions there, but this one would satisfy the featuring a conflict prompt as well as the featuring unlikable or morally gray characters prompt. I know that people have said that certain morally gray characters from the Greenbone Saga trilogy show up in this, so that will satisfy that. It definitely is going to be about a conflict. Most fantasy books are, but in general, the synopsis of this one points to that. And then it also is actually my poll pick. I thought it'd be fun to do kind of a Knock It Out November themed poll, so I put up an option to do either a highly anticipated book or a book that I've been putting off, and the highly anticipated book was chosen, so this is it, essentially. Or technically I could read another highly anticipated, but this is the one like I had in mind with that poll pick. So this is for step 5, and technically that would complete all 5 steps of the Once Upon a Readathon for me. I would have acquired my magical fruit, gained eternal life, which, you know, always sounds like a good thing. And hopefully I can share like a little piece of that fruit for my dog so that we both have eternal life. Anyway, I digress. But that's not all the books that I need to read this month. There is also another book that I have in my plans, and it's a big one, especially for a readathon. So this is Oathbringer, which is book 3 of the Stormlight Archive, and a series that I also started this year and have been absolutely loving. It's probably not the smartest decision for a readathon, but on the other hand, I feel like the amount of love I have now for the series will help me fly through it, so hopefully. I think that what I'll do is I'll probably just like pigeon it in. Is pigeon it in the word? is I'll probably just like put it into whichever step fits best instead of one of these other books if I do actually manage to finish this month. That way it counts. I do also have to read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is the next pick for the book Checkout Book Club, which I host with a couple of other amazing and lovely booktube friends. And for this one, we already have a live show scheduled on December 11th at 11 a.m. PST, so I do need to read it by then. I think I'm probably going to read it in the first week of December, just because then it'll be fresh in my mind for the discussion. So I'm not fully planning on that being part of my November TBR, but I wanted to throw it in there in case I do use it. I do know for a fact that it fulfills all of the prompts for step 4, including hard mode. So if anyone else wants to join in and read this with us for the book club, just so you know, it does fulfill all those prompts, so a little tip there. So that's what I'm reading for Once Upon a Readathon. Again, it's just a really fun readathon. If you haven't joined, there's still time to do so, and I have all the information down below. If you have joined, I hope you're having a great time, like I said, and hopefully you're on Team Fairy Godmothers and getting us the points, but if you're not, happy reading to you anyways. Hopefully it's okay that this is up later than I originally planned. Better late than never, I suppose. That's it from me for this video. Thank you again so much for watching, for supporting me, and just sticking it out. I can't tell you all how much I appreciate you, and again, happy reading to everyone in November, whether or not you are participating in the readathon, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.